Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome to Transformational Entrepreneur TV. I'm afraid we've had a couple of technical problems, and it's strange because I'm sure that Yael is actually in Australia. Do you want to just show us what the problem is, Yael?
Hi.
So, I mean, how do you get a problem bigger than this? You know, we have the first ever upside down Be Live. So,
First world problems.
yeah, this is like first world problem. Now, I mean, I really want to do this broadcast with you upside down, but I'm just going to have the giggles too much.
Okay, so in order to move distractions, cover it up now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm always tempted to get you to do the drinking of water upside down, but no, don't. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my goodness, that is so crazy. Okay, so go on. Yeah, please cover up and
Got it.
we'll get started.
Okay.
So, yeah, everybody, we apologize for what's going on. You know, Yael has had a few technical problems here, and you know, she's basically upside down because of her computer, but you know, you can hear her. So welcome, Yael. How are you doing today?
Hey, Andy. Wonderful.
It's
Happy
great.
Friday.
Happy Friday, yeah. Great to have you here. Thank you for being on Transformational Entrepreneur TV. So, well, let's get straight into it. I mean, you know, just, if you could just quickly tell me a little bit about yourself. I know that you're a coach and that you run this really awesome nonprofit. So could you just give us like a little bit of information about who you are and what you do, just in a nutshell, please?
Sure. Well, I help people who know they want to make a change in their life. I help them figure out what that change needs to be so that they can get on with it. So as a life coach, that's what I do. I have founded Life Teaches Foundation, which is an organization, a nonprofit. We put together the organizations and the people who want to help people. We bring them together with the people who need the help. Mostly having to do with, mostly geared towards homelessness, the issue of homelessness. So we're putting together a resource database for all the resources that currently exist, so that they're accessible, so people can find whatever they need.
That is awesome. That is really, really awesome. So, okay, so let's split this into two, because there's two areas that you're working. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you help people as a coach?
Okay. As a coach, basically my philosophy is it's all about getting to know yourself. If you want to, figuring out what needs to change in your life. The problem is that the problem that I have found, that I myself ran into and have found that most people run into, is you know that you feel like you want to make a change, like something's just not fulfilled, and so you change something in your life. Maybe you change jobs, you change a relationship or whatever, or maybe you move, or whatever the case is, and then something still just doesn't feel right. And then you're back to square one, and you're still trying to figure out what that change is. So I help people figure out, get to know themselves and what they really want, so that they can make the right changes, so that they can align themselves with who they were born to be.
That's awesome. I mean, we do. I think we do similar work. I mean, this is an area that I've helped people with as well. And the interesting thing is that often people, like you say, you know, they don't know really what they want to do, which
Right.
is not actually true. They do know.
Right.
What happens is, and I'm sure you've had the same experience. You know that they basically, they're so fearful of not being able to get what they want that you know, they're kind of in denial about it. Would you say that's the case?
Absolutely. I have one person that I spoke with recently. We were on a call one day. We were on a mutual coaching call, and the coach asked, where do you see yourself in 3 years? And she picked on this young lady, and this young lady had small children. She has small children, and she could not bring herself to. Her answer was, "What's the point in dreaming? I don't know what's going to happen in 3 years. You know, all these things. I don't know what, you know, my finances. I don't know what the kids. There's too many options, too many variables." So she couldn't even bring herself to dream of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we spoke. I connected with her, and we spoke for a little bit. And basically, all she needed was to remove the timeline. Because when I asked her, where do you see yourself in 10, 20 years? She came up with some answers, some wonderful answers. She has amazing stuff in store for herself. But she had to tap into that. So, and then as we were talking and we were kind of mapping it out a little bit, then, you know, the 20-year plan turned into like a 10-year plan, turned into 8 years, 5 years. By the end of the conversation, she said, I could see this happening within 5 years. So it's a matter of giving yourself permission to dream, so you know what exactly you're striving for.
Yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely, absolutely. And I think one of the most, I mean, for me personally, one of my biggest issues is there's so many things that I really love and what I really am interested in, and I've got, you know, multiple talents. I'm not saying that I'm like, you know, somebody who is, I'm not being egotistical, but I think I've got some aptitude in different areas. Maybe not, you know, obviously not as great as other people.
You're an amazing guy, Andy, admit it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Let's face facts.
Yes, bless you. Thank you. I wasn't fishing for compliments, but I like that. Thank you. Feel the same about you, Yael. You know that. So then it's just a case of like being able to find, you know, things that are really going to be your passion and what you're going to focus on, and things that are going to be a hobby. And you know, there's only so much time in the day. We can't do everything, and
Right.
about focusing on the main things. I mean, have you got, what do you do in those situations? Have you got any words of wisdom on that area?
Well, as far as that goes, I think that's a matter of figuring out what your values are, and figuring out, because we do all have so many interests and hobbies and, you know, passions even, but we have to learn to prioritize them. If you could do nothing else, if you couldn't accomplish anything else on this list, what's the one thing that you absolutely have to get done sometime in your lifetime? You know, you absolutely, you know, you will not die until you've seen the Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's something that calls out to you more than anything else. So it's a matter of prioritizing what is most important to you. Or maybe it's even a characteristic of your own. You know, you want to become a certain person. So, and you're still kind of working on that. So, but let's figure out exactly what's most important to you. Where does your heart lie? What calls out to you?
Brilliant. I love it. So for anybody who's just joined in now and catching this, thank you for watching. Awesome to have you here. Please like and comment, because I can't see exactly who's on with this Be Live system. But if you put a comment, then I'm going to see it. Also, Yael is had technical problems. Basically, she's in upside down land on her computer, and we don't know what the heck happened. And what you say?
Do you want me to show them again?
Yeah, go on, show them again. She's in upside down land, and so it's like major distraction for me. So,
Hi.
So to stop me from having fits of giggles, hang on a minute. Actually, I don't think they saw that. Can you just do that again? Go for it again. I got it on the wrong mode. So yeah, as you can see, Yael is
hi, Elena.
and here, so this is having me in fits of giggles. So this is why we decided it's better to do this. Just
no problem. This way we can have an adult conversation.
Yeah, well,
that's fine.
The two of us together, it's difficult to have an adult conversation. We seem to bring out we have a lot of fun here. Elena from the UK, great to have you on. Hi there, and it's evening for you. Yeah, we've got about 1:40 here. I know it's like 9:40 in the UK. More civilized hour for you. Yeah, she's in Australia. We have this Australian guest on. Okay, so great. So let me go on to the next. So yeah, that was it. That was what I was going to say about people are talking about bucket lists, and I know like years ago, it's probably not as current now, but it was like a really important thing, and somebody was bringing that to my attention and saying, hey, look at this is amazing. For me, I think it can be a distraction. I think that if we're not careful, we can do two things. One of them is that we're chasing after all of the things that we should do in our life, and really there's like countless things that we should see in our lifetime. And if we're not careful, then we don't have quality, because we're thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to do all of this, otherwise I'm not going to have the best life. And you know, it's all about, you know, thing that I learned from lots of meditation in Buddhism, because I studied Buddhism for many years, and it just taught you to be mindful and to be happy with what you've got. And I think I love what you said. It's like we need to decide, okay, well, what is the most important? What is it going to be? You know, it's like I'd like to go to to see the Grand Canyon, and I'm sure I'll do that someday. But is that top of my list? You know, my top of my list was to meet Tony Robbins and give him a hug and say thank you, and I've achieved that. So you know, there's levels of it.
I think when it gets to the point, like, okay, for example, you want to get to the Grand Canyon. I think at that point I would dig deeper and I would want to know why. Why the Grand Canyon? Why does that spot mean something to you? Is it maybe a childhood memory? Maybe someone, you know, maybe your grandfather was going to take you there when you were a little boy and never had the chance to, or something.
I love it.
You know? So a friend of mine started a family tradition within his family because he never got to go to the Rose Bowl with his dad, and his dad always wanted to take him. And he never got to do that. So now he got to he takes his family every year to the Rose Bowl. And that's what that means to him. So it's not a matter of that it's on his bucket list that he has to get there. What's more important is why.
Yeah. Yeah, and why is the big question. And often in my interviews we talk about this, and that was the change of my life when I started looking and finding out what my why was, to find out what your motivating force, your compelling reason for doing anything. Exactly. So absolutely spot on. When we were talking a few days ago, you said something that really struck a chord with me. You said if only we were more worried about creating our own lives and not worrying about what other people's beliefs and thoughts are. You know, and I think that's part of what we're saying here, isn't it? This is pretty important.
I'm actually working on an ebook that should be done within a few weeks. called My Business is My Life, and My Life is My Business.
Love it.
It started out as one thing, and then it turned into, it occurred to me that, we hear about drama-minded people. So I started kind of looking into the differences as to how different people think. And I would say let's call them drama-minded people. They tend to focus more on how life affects them rather than how they can affect life. They focus on, a lot of times they end up in the victim mentality. Life is happening to them, like, oh, why me? As opposed to someone else who might be in the same situation. Maybe they're at a job they hate, and they're going to go look for another job. You don't want to be unemployed? That's fine. So stay at your current job, but on the weekends and evenings, go look for another job. Whatever it takes. If that is what's making you miserable, go do something about it. So, but if I was more worried about my own life, I don't have time to worry about what's going on in, about, someone else's relationship issues, or, their whatever whatever the tabloids are saying these days. I don't have time to worry about that stuff. I'm busy trying to figure out my life and set up my life. And I think that if the whole world could do that, we wouldn't have time to be judging other people. So start focusing on yourself.
Absolutely spot on. This is one this was a key turning point meditation I did about just focusing. As a Buddhist, it's all about focusing on your own mind. If you go around and concerning yourself with what other people are doing, what they're thinking, what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing, and all of this, it's absolutely no use whatsoever. Complete utter waste of time. Because you're not going to affect the other person. They may not want to change. They may not have the tools to change. No interest, and it's getting nowhere. And you're just stopping yourself from being a better person. And as you become a better person, you and when I say, I'm not saying that I'm better than somebody else, or we should think of ourselves as better than somebody else, but as we're developing and evolving,
you're better than you were yesterday.
Exactly.
Better than yesterday's you. Right?
Yes. But as we're evolving, then basically we can influence other people. And, it's like they can see, wow, you're a very peaceful person. What are you doing? And then you can talk about meditation. Oh, wow, in this situation, you do this. And I really admire that. Can you tell me? Lead by example is very, very powerful, much more powerful than so that is an awesome book. When will that be available?
I would say I'm going to shoot for 2 weeks.
Wow, awesome. That's
I've already started on it. I just have to put the finishing touches and stuff like that. So
awesome.
I'm going to shoot for 2 weeks. I'll have it ready and I'll send it to you and share it with whoever wants it.
Well, can I just show your email? I mean, I was going to do this at the end. We'll do that as well. But then just, so that people, if they want the ebook, then this is how, we'll mention this again at the end. So, just jot this email down. If you want a copy of this is going to be free, which is fantastic. It is going to be free, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, of course. So you got a free book here, folks. And this is going to be absolutely awesome. So if you're interested...
Actually, let me give a better suggestion there. Why don't you have people sign into, they can sign up for the updates with Life Teaches. And that you can do that by texting, actually. I set up a text, which I think is an amazing feature.
Okay.
You can text to, hold on, I'm looking for it. Text the words Life Teaches, just all one word. Where'd it go? 28, there it is, 22828.
22828.
Correct. Just text the words Life Teaches to 22828. And that will put you on my mailing list. And as anything comes up, I will gladly, I'll send you an email and let you know.
Have I put that in wrong? Is that correct?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Awesome. Great. Great. Fantastic.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate you letting everybody know.
Pleasure. Okay, so tell me more about your nonprofit, please.
Sure.
You know, so we're just that's segueing nicely to Life Teachers.
Yeah, we didn't even plan for that. That did work out nice.
There you go.
Okay. Life Teaches Foundation is a nonprofit. We have we're currently developing a resource database to list all of the organizations, all the nonprofits and organizations that already exist who are out there to help people. And on the same note, we will also put a client profile page on there, and that will be so that we can get to know who we're helping. Because the whole point of my purpose behind that is to turn people from numbers and statistics to turn them into people again.
Yes, I love it.
So I think that would encourage. I think that will encourage people to, if you get to know the people that need the help, instead of, because we so casually walk past, the person sitting on the sidewalk asking for change or something. We walk past and, afraid to make eye contact because, oh my God, they might talk to me. But that's because if you ever take a few minutes to get to know the person, it's a real person, and maybe they just need someone to talk to. A lot of times that's the case. I've seen people turn down, a meal. They don't want a meal. They just want to have someone to talk to. Wow.
That's incredible.
So,
that's big. That's really big. I totally relate to this because, in LA, I mean, I lived in Brazil for like 12 years. And when I came, 14 years, sorry, when I came over to America, I was amazed to see, first world country, as they call it,
right.
To see people on the streets and begging and homeless. And I don't understand.
Right.
And then, living in a big place like LA, you've got to be careful who you're relating to, because there's a lot of people who have, mental issues, and people are on drugs or drunk and violent. And so you've got to be really streetwise living here. And it's a real challenge to know who you can relate to and who you can't. And, a lot of people are going into self-defense mode. So this is really, really awesome. I related to story to you, a few blocks away. I know that this lady, and, she must be in her 50s or 60s, and she's been sleeping outside. She was sleeping on sitting on a bench at the bus stop. Now she's got a wheelchair, and people talk to her, people relate to her, and it's like I don't want to go up to her and start, doing anything unless I know what I can do.
Why not? I'm curious. Why not? What's stopping you from doing anything for her?
Okay, so it's not my country, so I don't know what the resources are. I mean, yes, okay, I can go and I need to know who I'm talking to and what, like I say, most of the time it's like being streetwise. and
Okay.
knowing who somebody, if it's okay to talk. And that's part of my excuse and my story. But it's like,
So if you had access to the resources,
exactly.
would you approach it? Could you picture yourself approaching her and asking, would it be okay with you? Can we talk and can we see if I can help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the thing that blows my mind is that I was, in my mind, I've been thinking about this for a time and going, I wanted to create something like you've got, but you've got so much more than I had got into my head. I was thinking, well, it's not just about one person. It's like, what needs to be done to help people in this situation? And it's complex. I mean, you know this better than me, but just quickly, my thoughts were the person needs food and shelter. They need a safe environment. They need a medical
some insurance.
Sorted. Addiction issues need to be addressed. Then they need to find out if they're get them some way of getting a job and income. And that could be, I was thinking, and I thought of this in Brazil as well, of having like a community where each person has a skill and they're building something. Maybe somebody does a simple piece of art, which is like from carpentry, another painting, another creating music, another whatever it is.
That's how people used to live.
Exactly. and barter with stuff and so on.
Exactly.
But so tell me a little bit more about what you're offering and whether any of the things that I'm talking about are being addressed with your organization.
Well, as I said, in the example that you were talking about, like I said, my website is in development right now. I'm hoping to have that up by the end of the year. Sorry.
Oops. More technical problems.
Yeah, drop a mouse. So, actually, you just I brought a huge smile to my face to hear you say that would encourage you to help this woman. So, because I'm all about it's people helping people.
Exactly.
That's my purpose, my goal is to encourage the world. It's people helping people. Because we've all we've got.
Yes.
I mean, we can either, as we've all heard the saying, you're either part of the problem, or you're either part of the solution, or you're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not helping to solve these issues, then could there be a chance that you're contributing to them? I think that if you tend to walk past someone and not make eye contact, for fear that they'll talk to you, what kind of example are you setting for anyone else around? Other people see that and they're like, then they get leery of this person, and then they don't want to talk to them either.
Yeah.
Or like you said, you don't know what kind of, there are psychos out there, that's true, but are you going to walk past every single person in the meantime, and every single person you don't know? And now you're going to be fearful that each of them is, some kind of psycho, because that's what you choose to focus on. Or that was the example that was set for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So call me optimistic or whatever. I whatever you want to call me, but I just think I give people more, the benefit of the doubt.
And I think it's down to who you are as well. I think you need to do stuff within your comfort zone. And so if somebody you out,
don't do anything stupid. Don't put yourself in a situation where it's dangerous. I agree.
Exactly. I mean, for example, there is a guy who is LA based and he's a photographer. And it's like, I don't know whether I got his name down. I saw him on the local news. Okay. And what he's doing is he's putting a face behind, this issue, these people, and some of them are allowing him to photograph him. And, it'd be great if I could hook you up with him. I think that could be really good. And, so he's obviously, he's got the he's got the ability to be able to talk to these to people who are in this situation. And so, you know, sometimes it's just, obviously it's a mindset thing, you know. If you've got the mindset, you can talk to anybody and you're safe. But, you know, you've got to, yeah.
When I live in Chicago, and let's say one day I was driving past a bus stop that had a bench, and there was a guy laying on it, but it didn't look like he was sleeping. It looked like he had passed out.
Wow.
But I didn't know who he was. I'd never seen him before. There was nobody else around. And I was in my car. So I pulled over and I called the police. I called to get him help. Or what was it? No, I think they sent an ambulance. I called for an ambulance for him. And I don't know who he is, and I don't know if he's dangerous. And I don't know if he's passed out, or for all I know, he could be dead. You know, I don't know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I sat in my car. I called 911, and I sat in my car, and I waited till someone came. That way I knew he was taken care of. I knew he wasn't just laying there by himself, nobody around, nobody cares. All these other people driving around, you know, driving past him. And perhaps nobody noticed, but all the people, you know, it bothers me that people are afraid to, okay, so you can't do CPR on him. You can't, you know, you don't know how to help him. So you can sit in the car and call 911.
I agree.
You're still safe. You're not putting yourself in danger, but you're making sure he gets some help.
That's right. That's right. And I love it. I mean, with all that we're talking about, there's something. You know, my name's Shepherd, and you know, what if we were all shepherding? What if we were all, you know, what does a shepherd do? A shepherd is a person who protects his sheep. So he protects, he nurtures, he teaches. You know, he gives security, gives medication when necessary, everything that's needed. And so what if we got into a mindset where every person on this planet was shepherding? And so they like you shepherded this person. You know, you said, okay, I'm going to take you under my wing, as it were. I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of.
Right.
But it's definitely, you know, some of this is really big. I mean, there's certain areas of LA, like Skid Row, for example, and you know, there's a park as well, MacArthur Park, where a lot of the homeless live there, and so you know, you got to have a strategy to be able to help. So yeah, I'm going to really start looking at your site and you know, what you're doing, and move forward. I'm so excited to have met you, and I mean, we've known each other for a while now, but you know, we actually physically met about a month ago, and I'd love that you're on this show. And you know, for people who are joining in now, I'm sorry that it's just me. Basically, we had a few technical problems. I'm doing an interview with Yael Ellsworth, and we're talking about her coaching and also her non-profit. So that's awesome. So let me think. So is there a Facebook page, or is there anything that people can go to find out more about that?
We do have a business page, Life Teaches Foundation. That is a business page. And we do have...
That's on Facebook, is it?
Yeah, that's on Facebook.
Okay.
It's Life Teaches Foundation.
Okay.
And we also do have a group page, and it's just Life Teaches. And the group page, what we try to do there is we try to, like, we'll post things that, you know, that might be a life lesson that somebody has learned that other people could benefit from. Or we'll post things, just positivity going on in the world. You know, it's kind of like the opposite of watching the news.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's kind of, I guess it's the opposite of that. So, The purpose of it is to inspire, but the group page, I try to encourage conversation to go on in there. I want people talking about the things that need to be discussed.
I love
People
it.
don't want to talk about the hard stuff. We need to talk about it so we can get it out in the open, stop hiding from the issues that exist, and start doing something about it.
I agree. I agree. So when you have a moment, if you just put in the feed, maybe after this, and just type in the exact link for what you've got on Facebook, so that people can go into that and connect.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, originally I stopped watching the news because there's too much negativity. I believe in law of attraction. If you're holding it in your mind, you could be actually manifesting it. So I'm very careful. But it's necessary to know what's happening with local news. And there's a lot of really good stuff that's covered in local news. So I do my best to be, to be cautious and look at what I can. And the local news is awesome to find out what is happening with the community and how they're supporting each other. Mm-hmm. But I really do wish that they would have like a positive channel and just that's all they do, but
I love the Lifetime channel.
yeah, exactly. That's so I mean, maybe that's something for the future to have, and that would be awesome. But unfortunately, human nature is we like sensation, we like things that are exciting, and good news doesn't tend to excite us as much. So never mind.
Actually, this can bring us back around to what we were talking about earlier. If we were too busy focused on ourselves and trying to figure out ourselves and our own lives, we wouldn't care about, I'll give an extreme example here. And this is a very extreme example, so please pardon, if this is politically incorrect to bring this up. But I was talking with someone about terrorism the other day. And as far as, asking the questions and what they do, they're doing because they, in their mind, they think they're right. They think they're right, and whoever they're doing it to is wrong.
Exactly.
And the problem is that they're trying to impose their opinion onto somebody else.
Yeah.
And opinions are opinions. You have your own opinions about things, and I have mine. That's what makes us individuals.
That's right.
And if we learn to respect that, we should, if we know our own values and our own opinions and what we like, what we don't like, what we agree with or disagree with, then we can stand in that and we can talk to other people about it. And we don't necessarily have to convince them, but as we learn from other people, we evolve. Our opinions change.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I used to tell people I was allergic to mushrooms and onions because I didn't want to take the chance of them putting it in my food. Now it's my favorite.
Wow.
So, as I evolved, it changed.
That's a great example. And I think the whole issue of terrorism is a massive topic. So there are other things that are being taken into place, consideration there. But, I think that aspect is definitely something that is something that we should definitely think about. Mm-hmm. You talked about, did you say that you got a TV channel, People Helping People?
No, I didn't, but I would love to.
Okay.
That's definitely on my list.
Right.
I'm getting this established, and that is definitely on my list. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
That's what I do. That's what we do in the Life Teaches group, in the group and the business page.
Okay, got it.
Change that kind of inspirational stuff.
Right. Okay, I got that wrong in my notes. So,
okay.
When we were talking, you also mentioned, can you just share a little of one of your poems, which is, the world I see begins with me.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I'd love to. This is a poem that I wrote 20 years ago, and I'm working on a sequel to it, an updated, second verse, so to speak. But I just think the time is right now to start sharing this with the world. So here goes. Thank you. I dream of a perfect world where the wars have all ended and weapons have been obsolete for years. Children can go out in the yard to play. They know to stay away from the street. When a stranger walks past as they play, they smile and say, "Hi, nice day, isn't it?" Doors are left unlocked or, on a nice day, even wide open. Parents and grandparents are out working on their garden together. Everyone takes pride in keeping the world beautiful. Everyone does their part. People recycle so as not to destroy their precious resources. People take pride in the land. They are one with their planet and all that it offers. They respect themselves and each other, and they take pride in themselves and each other. They treat one another the way everyone deserves to be treated. This is an idea of the world I dream of. This is the world that I work toward. It's the world that my children deserve, that we all deserve. I try to live my life as close to this as possible and raise my kids to see the world in this light. Hopefully they'll raise their kids this way, to have this vision, knowing their worth and their strength. And it has to start somewhere. So the way I see it, the world I see begins with me.
I love that. I love that. I would love for you to put that into a beautiful.
I have a PDF. I'll give it to you.
Brilliant.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That should be on your. I don't know if you've got a button on your site and give that away for free. Just so awesome. Great. So we'll make that available for everybody as well.
Yep.
So, well, there are other things that we could talk about. There's just, you're an amazing person, Yael, and I sincerely adore and love what you're doing. And I adore and love you as well. You're a beautiful person. And anybody who meets Yael, you'll feel the same for sure. So there's all sorts of great freebies here. There's the PDF, and which we just talked about. And also in a couple of weeks, there's going to be this awesome ebook. My business is my life, and my life is my business. And so if you want that, then, couple of ways you can. Well, one way you can get it is to just, and to keep in contact, is to text the following. So I'm just going to put that on the screen now. Text the word Life Teachers to 22828. And if you prefer, then I'll give you the email in a few minutes, in a couple of seconds. So, we had a few technical problems here. Yael is in upside down land. You just want to show everybody what's happened. Basically, this is why. Let me just show that. Just great screen share. No, I'm sharing. And there she is drinking water upside down. So this is basically why she's muted all the time. Because basically, I'm just going to have the giggles all the time. So, here's another way to contact her, using the email. So thank you for being on. Let's do this again soon. Let's get the camera sorted out. Maybe I'll do it with Skype, and I'll do it a different method. So have you got any
hopefully I will have a better device in the future, in the near future.
Of course you will. Or we'll work out how to fix this.
Sure.
This is got to be fixable. I'm trying to do this to see what you really look like. But maybe you should all do that, folks. Just tip yourself upside down if you want to see what Yael looks like for real. Okay, well, any final words as we sign off?
I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone. I'm just trying to get the word out there about Life Teaches, and please share it with whoever. Everybody needs help, and nobody should be ashamed to ask for it. Ask for what you need.
Yes, I agree. I really truly love what you're doing, and let's keep in contact about that and see how I can support you, because LA has got a ton of people who need this. So this could be, the the know-how that I've been looking for. So the missing link. That's awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for being in your, even though you're upside down, being here. It's been great having you on, and until the next time. So thanks again. And thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. I've had a great time.
Me too. It's been awesome.
Thanks for watching. Hope you found this really useful. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment. You know, the good stuff that we always ask you for. And hit that bell button as well next to the subscribe. That'll get you notifications as soon as the next video's out. And talking of next videos, it's over there. Go click on it.